Hello and welcome to a new video on the HKCM Global channel. My name is Philip. Today I'm going to take another look at the stock of Intuitive Surgical. About a month ago, we already looked at the stock here on the channel. So if you haven't seen the video, I would really advise go back, watch that video in order to see how things played out, because they played out exactly the way that I was expecting them back then in the video. Yeah, let's take a look at what happened. So when I did the last video, the first video on the Intuitive Surgical stock about a month ago, I was expecting the stock to continue its decline, continue its corrective move here to the downside, which played out as expected, and we reached our target zone down here, which was between the 50 and 618% retracement, and the market was able to hold that target zone and show an upward move here. Back then I mentioned that I'm expecting at least 26 to 40% happening to the upside, even in my worst case expectation. I will come to that later and explain what my worst case expectation is now for the stock. But let's first look at if this played out the way that I said it would play out, and yeah, pretty much it did, because if you entered the target zone here on the upside, on the top of the zone around 438 or your first position, then yeah, basically to the high that we have seen recently around, we did 22%, so a little less than the 26, but there's still way to go, and this can still continue further to the upside. Yeah, but now it bears the question, okay, this is my worst case scenario, as I mentioned back then. So I was expecting a definite reaction to the target zone, to the upside. There was potential for a trade, which played out the way it should. Now the question is, okay, will it be able to continue to rise above the 626 level here, or will we be rejected earlier and continue the sell-off? Because in the overall expectation, the overall wave count, it is definitely possible that the stock is now not completing wave 3, but has already completed all of wave 5, and so also everything of a overall in the complete cycle wave 1, which will basically lead to a much deeper and prolonged correction with targets around $235 to $231 in the coming months or even in the next year. So this is going to take some time. But for now, this will now be decided what will happen below 626. If this level is not taken out to the upside, I will have to continue to track the alternative scenario and expect further downside to come in the future with new lows below this target zone and below 358 as well. So where can we still move if we are still within the corrective scenario and we are not going to continue a sustained breakout? So the low is now has been formed around $400. So the retracement that I'm expecting here would be a wave 2 in the bearish alternative. And let's just put in the numbers here and see where this can still lead us here to the upside. So for now, we have reached the almost reached the 618 retracement, which is also one of the primary targets for wave 2. We still have ways to go. We can still hit the 78.6 and the 88.7% retracement up here. So potentially there is still further upside here to come, but this is basically limited to another 8, maybe 12% if we are measuring from the top, the absolute top that has been formed so far since the low here. It's early to switch to the alternative scenario, but given the structure that has formed from the lows, let's go in with some more detail here. If we go down to the 15-minute chart, I think this becomes much clearer. The issue is that everything from the low here is best counted as a 3-wave move. So for example, here we have a possible A, B, C move, and we have another three-part move here to the downside again, and everything that's coming to the upside as well looks like a 3-wave move as well for the moment. So from this structure right now, I'm not very confident that the breakout will be able to be continued and then basically form new highs above 626 due to the structure. So this looks clearly corrective at the moment. So there's two options. Either we are still within wave 4 and the market or the stock will now form a sideways structure. For example, we could still go form a triangle, for example. This would be something that would prolong the correction but would prevent us from forming a new low and would basically push the breakout to a later point in time. From the structure, from the current structure, it's not going to be easy to find another solution here to form this upside move. The only real solution which is possible, because we are within wave 5 or 3, would be that this is going to become a form of an ending diagonal, for example, which is basically a form of a triangle, which then could look something like this, continue to the upside here. This would of course also limit the upside potential, but it would be able to create a breakout above the 626 level here. So these are the options at the moment. So I have to really conclude that it is not looking that hot, to be honest, for the breakout scenario and for my current primary scenario. We will now have to pay close attention what's going to happen here on the upside, how we are going to react to those levels I've just shown, which would be still suggestive for a wave 2. So basically, if we don't break 626, I have to consider wave 2 to be forming, and I have to expect a further sell-off to happen. But for now, we are fine. We are definitely in the profits with all our positions here. So there's not an issue from that side, but we have to watch out, because this is not written in stone here that we are going to break out above 626 and continue to new all-time highs here in the near future. Yeah, as always, let's also pay a visit to the indicator charts here. Let's look what's happening here. We are becoming strongly overbought on the lower time frames, here on the 4-hour, for example. So this is, I'm expecting this to turn down pretty soon, and then we'll see how the stock reacts to that. If this is already leading to a new sell-off wave to the downside, pushing the alternative, or if this can be then basically maintained and we can hold the lows, making a further breakout more likely. But we're also coming up on the daily as well. This is closing in on overbought territory as well. And if you look at the longer term time frames, the 4-day is trying to cross up. We have seen quite some reset here on the RSI and also on the MACD. We are starting to lose the negative momentum, but we are still on the short signal. And if you zoom out further in the time frames, going to the 2-week chart, we can see that we clearly still have a clear sell signal here. So we can still see that the 2-week MACD is still coming down. We are still in the process of losing its positive momentum here. RSI is still coming down. We are on the short signal here as well. So the longer term timeframes do not suggest that a continued sustained breakout is going to occur. They are clearly signaling that this is going to be a much larger correction unfolding. The monthly is trying to turn down. We are losing. We are in the 3rd month of losing positive momentum. We haven't closed in on the short signal yet, but it's clear that this will need a reset pretty soon. So if this is going to cross down, I really have deep concerns that we will still be able to form another high here and move to new all-time highs in general on the stock. This scenario will then become much more likely, and it's going to be probably that we will have to switch to that scenario. But as mentioned in the beginning, and as if you've seen, if you watch my last video on the stock, it played out the way it should have played out. We saw the reaction. We saw buyers coming into the market again here. We have seen a nice move to the upside, a nice trade, and now we will have to see how things play out further. So I suggest it's not going to be harmful taking some profits off, and then just lean back and wait how this is going to play out in the next weeks. If you don't want to wait for a new video on the channel here for 4 weeks or even longer, then please use your chance now, because at the moment we have a 20% discount promotion on our website for our paid subscription on hkcmglobal.com. So make use of that. Intuitive Surgical is part of our AI stock package. If you're interested how the story continues, how trading in general continues in all of the stocks that we have in the package and also in all of our other markets, go on the website, get yourself a paid subscription and be up to date, and you don't have to wait for the new YouTube video to come out to make your trading decisions. So as always, thank you for watching. Please feel free, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, of course, like the video, and have a good one, and see you next time.